And in today's video, as you can see, I am doing something a little bit different, kind of familiar though. On my channel, I have talked about a lot of Marvel movies, and I thought it would be kind of cool to, sort of do another tier ranking video for you guys, but instead doing the actual characters themselves. I have done the movies, and now I'm on to doing the actual heroes. So make sure you sit back, relax, enjoy this little, hopefully short enough video. I am on vacation this week, so if you didn't know that, that's why the uploads have been a little wonky this week, but hey, that's just how it is. Also, make sure you check out the other video I posted, not yesterday, but the day before, if you're interested in that. And yeah, make sure you like the video if you do like the video, and also subscribe to the channel to be into the 7.5k subscriber giveaway. Yes, at 7.5k I will be doing another giveaway. But other than that, let's jump right into here and see what we have to tier rank. So as you can see, we have here a lot of different characters from the MCU. Now, for a lot of these guys, I'm really not gonna rank at all. These are just a lot of the characters that have been introduced into the Marvel MCU. I'm mostly just going to be focused on the, obviously the heroes and the villains as well, but there are a plethora of them all. I think it said there are somewhere between like 100 and something of them, so if there is a lot of them, then that's just how it is. Hopefully it's nothing too crazy, but, or if there's like duplicates and whatnot, I'll just skip over them, but hopefully it won't be too bad. So, let's get right into the tier ranking. So if you don't know how the tier ranking goes, obviously S tier are the S tier types of heroes. I think I might just do this based off of like my own opinion, which again, my opinion is dumb and stupid. It doesn't really make any sense. So, yeah, I'm just gonna do based off of like my favorites. These are just my favorite heroes, how I think of them. This isn't based off of how strong I think they are, or anything like that, like anything super related to the comics or anything. This is just based off of, how I see these characters, I guess you could say. So, again, I'm only going to be really focusing on the heroes and the villains, not really like the side characters, like this chick right here. I know she works for S.H.I.E.L.D., but I don't really think she's someone who needs to be involved in the tier ranking. This villain right here, I think, is like the main bad guy for the Incredible Hulk movie, which again, I don't really think I need to put up there. Here you have Korg and his little crab buddy from Thor Ragnarok. Again, I don't think characters I need to put on here. Next up, we have a very big character to definitely put up here, and that is Thanos himself. So for Thanos, I really love Thanos' character. I almost just want to put him A tier because obviously when Thanos was first introduced to the MCU, he wasn't really seen to be a very interesting character. And then obviously once, Infinity War, the end of Thor Ragnarok, those movies really sort of threw him into the spotlight, obviously. But I don't know, I think just as a character, he was really good. He's not one of my favorite MCU villains, I guess you could say. I really like his character, but again, just super early on into like his development, I guess you could say, wasn't really all that interesting, I guess. Here we have Pepper Potts, and I don't really think she needs to be on the list. No offense, I know she has like a second of on-screen time as being, in an Iron Man suit at the end of Endgame. If you didn't know that, then sorry, spoiler alert, but I mean, I guess I could just throw in her anyway. Like, she's cool at the end of that movie. In Iron Man 3, she was kind of okay, but other than that, she just seems like a very solid, I guess, character in the MCU, I guess you could say. Then next up on here is, I think, is this not Captain America Magneto's like love interest. I think that's who it is. I keep forgetting her name. It's like Peggy, I think, maybe. Hopefully that's the right character. Then you have this Shield guy who's like, I think he was in Civil War. I think he's the guy who tried to get the Avengers to sign the Accords. So I don't need to put him on there either. We have Ant-Man, which I actually really enjoy Ant-Man's character a lot in the movies now. I know his movies individually aren't that great, but I really, really like Paul Rudd's acting and how he plays these characters. So I think B is actually a pretty solid ranking for him. I also just love Paul Rudd as a character. Then next up we have Hulk. Hulk I find cool. He's not really like one of my favorite characters. It really sucks that Bruce Banner, Mark Ruffalo, the Hulk never really got, his own sort of a shine in these Marvel movies. But I do really like him in Thor Ragnarok. I think they really, show him off as a really strong and big character, which he is. But I don't know. Maybe I can put him B at least. I think that's kind of okay. He's like a very decent character in the MCU. Then next up, we have Black Panther, which even when the character was introduced in Captain America Civil War, it is still easily one of my favorite sort of entrances to a hero. He might even be S tier because this movie is so good. I really love the Black Panther character. Very, 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 very dope. Very good movie. The character is super cool. I love like his fighting style and everything like that. He's a very exciting character. I really love like his armor and how it has like a bunch of different effects to it. Definitely a very cool superhero. Next up, we have this guy. I forget his name. It's some like Australian name, I think. But he's sort of the main protagonist to Wakanda, and he's also one of the major villains in. I think he shows up in Age of Ultron. He's also in the Black Panther movie, and I think he's pretty cool. His character is fun. Obviously, he has like a missing arm, but with that missing arm, he has like some sort of cool vibranium arm, I think it is. I think it's pretty dope, but again, not like a crazy villain where it's like, he like poses some super threat to the Avengers, so that's maybe why he's kind of low. Next up, we have Killmonger, and I actually loved Killmonger in the MCU. I wished that he wasn't killed off. I wish he would have stayed. Maybe had another run at being Killmonger again. I thought his character was really, really, really dope as a character. Yeah, I think honestly, for MCU villains, obviously besides, big time baddies like Thanos who can just destroy the universe, I think for a small time, villain in the MCU, he's definitely sort of a top tier end villain with that sense, especially when he does get the Black Panther powers. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Next we have Black Widow. And honestly, for Black Widow, I never really got super attached to the character. Now, I know, she dies in Endgame and everyone like freaks out and everything like that, which is totally sad. But I never, again, really got super attached to the Scarlett Johansson character. Maybe after watching the new Black Widow movie that comes out later this year, maybe I will. Maybe my feelings will change, but as for right now, I think she's a very solid MCU character, which is why I put her like somewhere in the middle. She's decent, you know what I mean? She's like cool, but as for like an Avenger, not one of my favorites. She's really cool, I guess. Next up we have the Winter Soldier. I actually really enjoy the Winter Soldier's character. Obviously when, as a villain, he's definitely a top tier villain. The same thing as sort of Killmonger. I'm only really putting him down because the fact that they make him seem very weak now, especially in the Captain America or Falcon, I guess, and the Winter Soldier movie or TV series, they make him seem very weak. I never really saw any time there he was anything super powerful or anything close to where he was as being the Winter Soldier. I wish they would have made Bucky, the same sort of strength as the Winter Soldier. I think then I would make him more like an A-tier guy, but, he's nice, he's cool now, but I think as the Winter Soldier, he is a different breed, you know what I mean? He's a great character. Next up we have Captain America, and I think this is pretty obvious for anyone. S tier, for a long period of time, he was my favorite MCU character. I was on Team Team Captain America during the Civil War. I think Chris Evans did a great job as Captain America. Maybe he will, come back and do his role again sometime. I think probably in the next, 5 to 10 years. Who knows? He might get a cameo in a movie or something like that. But I think Captain America is just one of the best superheroes of all time in anything when you're talking about superheroes. Next up we have Captain Marvel, and she's definitely a very cool character. I didn't like her standalone movie at all. I think at one point in time I was just not even paying attention for a good solid 30, 45 minutes. I just spaced out and don't even really remember the movie. But in Endgame, she's really dope. She's a very helpful character. Obviously, and we all know how strong she is. She's arguably the strongest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But I think just her movie and her character development wasn't that interesting. I know she comes out in the Marvels movie as Miss Marvels or the Marvels. Hopefully in that movie they do a better job, but I think she's obviously just a super dope character alone. I totally forget this guy's name, but I actually really like this character in I think it's in Civil War, the very start of Civil War. He comes out in. It's the part where when what's her name? Wanda accidentally blows up the embassy or something like that. It's this guy's fault. This guy looks dope, fights really cool. I think it's a very cool sort of backstory, and being an ex-SHIELD agent, I think he's a very dope character. Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange, in my opinion, is very underrated. Definitely one of my, favorite heroes, that's for sure. I think Benedict Cumberbatch might be the perfect pick to pick as Doctor Strange. Speaking very, intellectual. His fighting style is really dope. The magic he uses is really dope. I can't wait for the Wanda and Doctor Strange movie that's coming out soon as well. I think, again, a very underrated hero. And actually, his movie is one of my favorites in the MCU. Then you also have Dormammu, which I wish they would have shown off Dormammu a little bit more in the MCU. I know in the comics he is actually, a freak of nature. He's actually a really cool character, but in the MCU didn't really live up to the hype. He was just a funny sort of meme now in the movies. You have Drax, which I like Drax. I like his sort of comic relief, but again, sort of like Dormammu, him in the comics is a completely different character. I mean, Drax is a super beast in the comics. In the movies, he's just some sort of side character who just, beats up people with his fist. But in the comics, he's a way different character. I wish they would sort of introduce that more into the MCU, his true strength. But he's a funny guy, I guess you can say. You also have some of the characters from Doctor Strange. I'm just gonna do the main villain, which is the guy who's possessed by Dormammu or whatever. He was kind of cool. I might put him in D as well. As the main villain, wasn't it really anything crazy? He is cool. He just didn't really sort of impress me a whole lot as a villain, I guess you could say. And I guess now that I think about it, neither did really he. He wasn't really anything that really great either. I kind of want to put Pepper down to D as well, but maybe we'll keep her up there just for now. Next we have Ego. And sorry guys, but Ego might be my first F tier villain. I enjoyed the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 movie. Just again, it wasn't a very interesting villain. The story even wasn't anything super crazy. Obviously, the ending of Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is very important because that's how they meet Thor. But honestly, just not the greatest villain. I didn't really get to care about Ego a whole lot. He was just I don't know. I don't want to say he's a bad villain, like it's an unwatchable movie, but Ego as a villain just didn't really pique my interest at all. You next have a Frost Giant from the Thor movies, which I don't think I'm going to put up there. You have Gamora, which is definitely a cool character. I think I might just put her C at least, just because of the movie she's in. She plays it really good. I think again, just as an individual character, like I really can't put her at the same level as like a Hulk or a Bucky Barnes or anything like that. Not because I don't think she's strong. I think she's a very strong character. But just the way I see her, just again, it didn't really interest me a whole lot. Besides being, the love interest of Peter Quill, the daughter of Thanos. She's a cool character, but just nothing really stuck to me, I guess you could say. Then we have Ghost, who is one of the antagonists in Ant-Man and the Wasp, which she was actually kind of a cool character. Again, just that whole movie as a whole wasn't really all that great. I think her character was cool, but the way they portrayed her in the movie was pretty bad. So I think if it was a better movie, maybe just had more time with it, I would rank it higher. But I could sort of tell in the Ant-Man and the Wasp movie, they sort of just threw that movie out there just to make sure that the Endgame movie was a possibility, because obviously in that movie, Ant-Man comes back from the different sort of dimension and sort of saves the Avengers. But in order to do that, they needed to do everything in Ant-Man and the Wasp. So I think Ghost was a cool character. Definitely could have been better. Now we have Groot. Groot is obviously a very lovable character. I really miss like adult Groot, and hopefully he is, adult Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which comes out in a couple years. I'm very excited to see that Groot again. I did kind of like it, baby Groot, obviously, and then teenage Groot was kind of okay in the Avengers Endgame movie, but I'm really excited to see grown-up Groot again. Then we have Happy, which I don't think Happy needs to be up there. He's cool, but yeah, doesn't need to be on like a heroes and villains tier listing. Now we have Hawkeye, and I'm really excited to see the Hawkeye TV series on Disney Plus, which I think is going to even bump up more on my list, because I really enjoy his fighting style and stuff. But again, as he sort of ranks up with the Avengers, he just doesn't sort of have the same sort of power and ability as them. And as for that, they don't really show him off a whole lot, which kind of sucks. I think in the Age of Ultron movie, he gets a lot of cameo time, which is great, and that's why I kind of have him in this sort of average tier, because he's a cool character, but doesn't really push him over the edge, I think, in my opinion. We have the main bad guy for Iron Man 3, which again, just wasn't a great movie, and I didn't really care about this character at all. I think this guy was also in Spider-Man 2, I think, maybe Spider-Man 3. Don't need to put him up there. The Spider-Man 1 villain, he's just sort of a guy who sort of steals Tony Stark's Iron Man plan. Kind of cool. Again, don't really care. Didn't really stack up to the other MCU villains. We have Thor's love interest. Don't need to put up there, I also think. We have this guy, and oh man, what is he from? Oh, I don't remember, but I'm not gonna rank him up there anyway. We now have one of the bandits from Guardians of the Galaxy, don't need to put up there. We have one of the Dark Elves from the Thor movie, Thor Dark World. And that movie as a whole is garbage. Didn't really care about this movie. Didn't really care about the villain. We have the little feelings girl from Guardians of the Galaxy. She's okay. I mean, not good enough to me even to remember her name at all. But her character is nice, and she is also kind of like trash with that comedic relief in a lot of scenes. But again, just as a character, just doesn't really stack up to really all the other ones. Oh man. Honestly, she really surprised me in the Wanda and Vision series, and especially now that she does have her own powers. Gonna be a new, exciting character introduced in the MCU. I think C is good for now, and again, just like with Hawkeye, I think with added content, she could even get up higher on my tier ranking system here. We have Gamora's sister and another daughter of Thanos, which, man, I actually really liked her story in Avengers Endgame was really dope. And sorry, Pepper Potts, me have the movie down. When I see all these other characters, I can't put Pepper Potts up there. Even if at the end of Endgame, she had a really cool cameo as being another Iron Man suit, but just that alone shouldn't make her a C tier person. But yeah, definitely a very cool character in development. I really love her development as a character. We now have Mr. Shield himself, which I don't think I need to put up there. Because he'd probably just be, again, like another C tier character. Just don't really have a major opinion. We have one of the Wakanda warriors from Wakanda. They are really dope. Again, don't really need to put up there. We have Wanda's brother, which was very funny because he was actually kind of in, the Wanda and Vision show as Quicksilver, but not, the real Quicksilver, I guess you could say. I mean, I don't really even have an opinion on him. He's really only in one movie for like 10 minutes of screen time. I'm not even gonna put him up there. We have Red Skull, and for Red Skull, again, a character that was okay in his movie, and actually his cameo in Endgame was also kind of cool, but again, a Marvel movie villain like him that I just didn't really care for a whole lot. I know in the comics he's a big deal, and I wish they would have made him more of a big deal in the MCU, but they didn't really. We have Rocket Raccoon, which I actually really enjoy his character a whole lot. I think Bradley Cooper does a very cool job voice acting this character, and I think it really brings a lot of life to Rocket. Sure, he's not really strong like obviously all these other characters, but I think in my opinion his just development as a character is a lot of fun, and who would have thought a raccoon would be a nice protagonist in movies. Next up we have one of the main villains for Guardians of the Galaxy, the first movie. I think he's kind of cool. He definitely has, when he does get the stone and puts it in the hammer, that's a really cool scene in the movie. And as an antagonist, he is very powerful. He does have a lot of things to him. He does make the movie a lot more interesting. But again, I just didn't really like the character, fall in love with the character like I did with like a Thanos or a Killmonger character. I thought he was cool and his powers are dope, but just didn't really get me all connected, I guess you could say. We have the Shocker from the Spider-Man movie. I'm not gonna put him in there at all. We now have one of these shapeshifters from Captain Marvel, and wow, again, didn't care for that movie. I know, again, in the Marvel comics, these characters are super important to like the Secret War and things like that, and I think they will get a bigger push in this next phase of Marvel movies, but as for right now, just don't really care about them. We have this guy from the Thor Ragnarok movie, which again, I don't really think I need to put him in here. He's not like sort of like a main guy at all. He was cool when he had like the M16s and was shooting all the the clay skeleton guys. That was kind of fun, but other than that, nothing too crazy. Then we have Spider-Man, which I think for a lot of people, Spider-Man is also one of their favorites. I think Tom Holland does a great job as Spider-Man, and definitely in Spider-Man Far From Home, definitely was absolutely amazing. I cannot wait to see what else they do with the Spider-Man movies, with, you know, the next Spider-Man movie being reported and rumored as being one of the biggest Spider-Man movies ever. I am super excited for that one as well. We have Peter Quill, aka Star-Lord, which, in my opinion, I love this character. I loved him a lot in Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, you know, didn't really add anything really to the character. And then in Endgame and everything like that, I think he was a really dope character in Infinity War and things like that. But I'm not going to make a mess here because he did sort of mess up everything for not pulling off Thanos' gauntlet. That was kind of a big oopsie. Next up we have the guy, big baddie from Thor Ragnarok. I forget his name. I know it's some like mythical name from like different lore from like Norse gods and stuff. But he's the one who actually brings Ragnarok to Thor's homeland, which obviously comes true, but again, a character I don't really think I need to put up there. He's not like sort of a main person in the MCU. We have the Wasp, which, again, just a character that, as for right now, her development just isn't there for a lot of the other characters. She's cool and, you know, can fly, I guess, but other than that, she's basically just a different style of Ant-Man. She's dope, and I like her character, and I know Ant-Man has a new movie coming up, so maybe she'll get more screen time, a little bit added development, but other than that, she's just not a character that I really, you know, liked, I guess. Next up we have Thor, and honestly guys, Thor is actually my favorite superhero in the entire MCU, so if I was ranking these, I would put Thor up front, because he is actually my favorite. No, not Thor from the first movie, or Thor from Thor 2 Worlds, but Thor Ragnarok Thor, Infinity War, Endgame Thor, definitely my favorite character in the entire MCU. We have Hela, Thor's sister, and I actually really enjoyed this character a whole lot. Her abilities, super dope, and obviously being, you know, the sister of Thor, daughter to Odin, I think that was a really cool sort of spin to the Thor Ragnarok movie, adding in another family member who was just super unstoppable. Honestly, the only person who could stop her was, you know, an inevitable sort of being like this guy. I think everything about her was really dope, but again, I wish was a little bit, you know, added longer into the MCU. Maybe she could have ranked up a little bit higher, but just for that one movie, I thought she was a really dope character. We have Valkyrie, which, I guess she's kind of like a main character, but I don't really think I need to add her on. Same thing with the guy who sort of holds the portal to Asgard. Same thing with Odin. These three characters I don't think I really need to put up there. I don't know who this is. Is that also Pepper Potts? I think that's another picture of Pepper Potts. Now we have Ultron, which Ultron, honestly, in my opinion, could have been one of the biggest, you know, baddies in the MCU. I think he was really dope in Avengers Age of Ultron, which is why I make him kind of high, but it would have been cooler if he sort of stuck around, I guess, and was sort of added on to being one of the MCU's biggest baddies, kind of like a Thanos character. Maybe he will make a return, which would be really dope, but as a standalone movie, I think he made a very cool impact on the Avengers series. Vision is definitely one of my favorite characters in the MCU, not only because of how he was in Wanda and Vision, I thought that was really cool, but his abilities are dope, the character is dope, how he came to be, really dope. I just love the Vision character as a whole, I guess, a very strong and powerful character. We have, what's his name? It's not Falcon, obviously. Vulture, was actually a really cool villain. I think the movie really helped and developed the character a lot, which is why, like with Hela and a lot of these other characters, they were just sort of thrown into the big picture. While with Vulture, we really got to see the backstory and how his character developed, and how, you know, the tie-in of him being Peter Parker's love interest's dad. Super cool to see that. I really enjoyed him as a villain as well. We have War Machine, which I, again, was never really attached to this character at all. I think he's dope. He is sort of just like an Iron Man 2.0 type of character. I think in Civil War, you know, he really got a big push and definitely got something crazy happening to him, being, you know, paralyzed and everything. That I think that was really cool, but I know he's in one of the upcoming series. I think he might even get his own standalone series, but until then, a character just I didn't really find or connect with a whole lot. We have Whiplash from Iron Man 2 for main protagonist. Just again, wasn't anything super crazy. I think this guy was named like the Hornet or something like that. I didn't really care for him as a villain. I think he is cool, like his abilities are cool, but again, just a character that didn't get really developed, a character I didn't really care about. Sure, he is the villain to one of my favorite Marvel heroes in Ant-Man, but just didn't really spike in interest in me, at least. Again, another one of the big baddies for Captain Marvel, just didn't really care for a whole lot. We also have, oh god, I forget his name. I don't remember. Anyways, but he definitely got a big boost in development in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And his character was almost like a main character in that movie, honestly, besides Peter Quill and maybe even Gamora. He might even be like the third main character in that entire movie. I really like the development they made. Really cool character. Next up we have the main protagonist in Captain America Civil War, and also makes a cameo in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show. Really cool. Honestly, if he wasn't in that Falcon and Winter Soldier show, I would probably make him a D or maybe even an F character, because again, just kind of a character that was just thrown into the mix. But I really like the character a lot more in the Captain America. I keep wanting to say Captain America and Winter Soldier show, but yeah, was definitely pretty cool, at least in my opinion. And obviously, you can see there are a lot of duplicate pictures, so there are a lot of things I just need to sort of skim through, sort of get through these ones. As you can see, these ones are duplicates. Let's see, anyone else? Who is that? This dude's face is not even in the picture. That's kind of funny. Here we have Falcon. I think Falcon for sure. Definitely. If he didn't have his TV series, he'd probably be like a D or C tier guy. Again, Falcon just wasn't a character I really got connected with. But wow. Definitely in Captain America and Winter Soldier, the push they made for Falcon, absolutely dope. I think in the next upcoming Avenger movies, if he's in them, can be even higher up on my tier list, because as of right now, Anthony Mackie's character is super cool to see. I just honestly can't wait for more, and I think if he does get more, he could even get up higher on my ranking. Let's see. Oh, there he is. Finally, we get to talk about Iron Man. Iron Man, for a lot of people, are probably like his favorite. It's probably their favorite MCU hero. I like him. He's obviously S tier. But honestly, he's not my favorite. Like I said, Thor is definitely my favorite character. Like honestly, since Iron Man, the first movie, is a great movie. He's amazing in all of the Avenger movies. But Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3, I very much dislike those movies. Those movies I don't even really need to watch when I'm watching Marvel movies and stuff like that. So that's maybe why he's not really my favorite. I didn't really connect with those movies at all, but obviously in all the other movies he's amazing, and that's why even just those movies alone, he's an S tier type of character. I just love Tony Stark in those movies. We have Mysterio, and honestly, guys, Mysterio might be one of my favorite big baddies in the MCU. Not only because Jake Gyllenhaal is actually my favorite actor of all time, but the way they portray Mysterio in this movie is awesome. The way Jake Gyllenhaal acts as this character is awesome. The backstory to the character is awesome. The abilities this character has is awesome. I just really loved Mysterio, and I hope he comes back at some point in the MCU universe, and I think he might actually, because of how much love and support he did get. But if he doesn't, he's still one of my favorites for sure. Let's see. Loki. Loki is getting his own series soon. I'm very excited for that. I love Loki as a protagonist, not really much of an antagonist. I think him next to Thor is a very cool duo, and I hope they sort of go into that more if they do continue on in the movie series and stuff like that. I think as of right now, he might turn back to a villain because the original Loki died, and now the sort of new past Loki, who's in the future now, I think, or at least in some other universe, is a bad guy still. So I'm very interested to see what happens to Loki, that's for sure. Am I missing anyone? Iron Man. Sorry for there's so many duplicates in this. It's actually kind of crazy. Oh, finally, we have Wanda down here. I think she might be the last one. I think she might be the last one. Yeah, I think she's the last one. And last but not least, we obviously have Wanda, which, wow. I think, honestly, the character development of Wanda for the longest time was dog duty. Even going into Civil War, and even sometimes in Infinity War, even before that movie, it was a very weak character. Obviously now, after Infinity War ended, in Endgame, and now her own standalone TV series, oh my god, what a great job they did with Wanda. She could even, be up higher on my list after the Doctor Strange movie as well. Wanda, just one of the strongest characters in the MCU now. The character is amazing. Everything about this character is very great now. But I will wait until seeing the newer movie to see where she ranks next, because maybe it could flop, I don't know. But as of right now, I love Wanda as a character. But yeah, I think that's mostly it. I'm trying to think. These are just the characters they have listed here, so I guess this is my ranking, I guess. So yeah, Thor, like I said, is my favorite MCU character of all time. I love all these other characters. Even in B tier guys are very cool. C tier guys are sort of just average characters that, could have been better, or maybe just need a little bit of work, like she does, and I know she will pop up a lot in upcoming movies as well. D tier guys are just sort of okay, they're there for a second. War Machine might actually be C tier, but again, in Iron Man 2, I didn't really like the character. In Civil War, he gets better, but again, I think he is getting a standalone series, so that's maybe why I'm waiting to put this character up a little bit higher. And then F tier guys, if they were never in a movie, I honestly wouldn't care. So, yeah, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this little tier ranking video. If you guys want me to do a Star Wars one, definitely let me know down in the comments. And yeah, make sure you like the video if you like the video, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you again in my next video very, 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 very soon. Alright, guys,